Jim Caviezel, who's with us right now. He's done so many things. And here's a little applause for you right there. How about that?
Like that?
The crowd is going
Nice.
wild. Yeah. Okay. He stars in the new movie When the Game Stands Tall. Now, if you follow high school football at all, you know the story. You're playing a coach at De La Salle High School that just continued to win, came down south, beat all the high schools down here.
Yeah.
All right, you're playing that coach. It's about one of the most successful high school football coaches in history. Here's a clip and then more.
About 25 years coaching this team, favored to win your 12th consecutive championship, 150 wins. How'd you pull it off?
But winning a lot of games is doable. Teaching kids there's more to life, that's hard.
But come on, Bob, you turned this team into a winning machine. How long do you think you can keep the streak alive?
The streak was never our goal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Caviezel is with us. Nice to see you. This line you hear right here, everything that I know about this coach, that's real. That's not just the movie version of him.
Right.
That streak, which became such a big deal, was less of a big deal to him?
When I saw the boys in the locker room and their eyes were glossed over, and the way he would speak to them, they could look right into his soul and he would look right into theirs. And he said, whatever that is to get you to that level, whatever that thing to get your heart swollen, that's where you got to be tomorrow. And the way he spoke to them, just like any top military commander, and these boys would play out of their mind the next day, and this would just continue. And 151 games later, and multiple streaks. It was like Coach Wooden. You know, he had an 88-game winning streak, but he
started again. You mentioned Coach Wooden. We were just chatting beforehand.
Yeah.
Your dad,
yes,
Caviezel,
yes,
played for UCLA on the freshman team when
Yeah.
Wooden was the coach. What happened there?
59 to 62. Well, he spent a lot of time in surgery. He was Player of the Year of the state of Washington, and Coach Wooden recruited him. But Coach Wooden really had a great influence on my father, who had a great influence on me. And then, of course, I was at his camps growing up. And in fact, I brought Coach Wooden to my Bobby Jones premiere. He was my special guest.
Oh.
He was much like this coach that you're playing.
Yes, he had a
They
pyramid
were-
of success, a philosophy from within.
Yeah. And they really believed in it, because a lot of coaches say things
Yeah.
because you say the things you're supposed to say, and then all you care about is winning.
One word that would define those two men, Lattiser and John Wooden, would be authenticity. Kids can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interview with Vin Scully where he highly recommended the movie, and he said this isn't just about sport, and you don't go just to see it for sports. Families should go see this because it has such a strong message.
Like John Wooden, Lattiser never, they had the longest streaks ever. He never emphasized winning. He focused on their character. And that was the biggest thing for him. And, and because of that, they developed this bond of love, a brotherhood that is unprecedented. You'd think more guys would do it, but I think ego plays a big part of why they can't.
Sure, and I remember when De La Salle finally lost, tell me if I'm wrong, I remember a quote where basically Coach said, listen, I don't know how to tell you this to the press, but we need to prepare for another game.
That's right.
We got next week.
He's right. It's like, you know, in the film, he's just like, you know, this is a lot for any young kid to handle. And it was never about that. I think the pressure was from the previous classes, you better not mess up. Let
me ask you a question that may go along with this. We obviously have a need for heroes. We have a need for role models. Now, because everything is so scrutinized, it's hard to have role models. I just think of all the athletes of the last 10, 15 years who were our heroes and then they fell and fell badly. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I am who I am today because of my role models, John Wooden being one of them, George Raveling being one of them, going to camps every summer. I needed them. And I had a few teachers that really, if I hadn't had them, I would never be where I'm at today. A lot of it is always overcoming adversity. But like these two coaches, you can be here, and you can be here. You should be right here. If you're here, you should be thinking right here. Be humble. You know?
Right. And you also have to accept flaws in your role models.
Sure.
You know, because if you fantasize about them being perfect, they're going to let you down.
Of course.
Yeah. How come you're not a basketball player?
I used to be.
What does that mean?
I spend a lot of time every day playing. Now I'm an actor, and I spend a lot of time doing that.
Because you're an actor and a successful actor, you probably get to play with some good people.
Yes, good. Richard Harris would be one of them, and I've had some really good mentors there.
If you could possibly make a choice back then, would you have taken a career as an NBA star versus an acting star?
I wasn't good enough. I tried. I mean, I tried.
Yeah.
I got to play against John Stockton. I got to play against Gary Payton. I played against some great players, you know, in scrimmaging and stuff, Magic, and but I was a very good shooter. But those games, like for example, John Stockton had eyes in the back of his head. He did things that I'd never seen before, and he had speed and you know, just the size of this guy's hands, and I had great quickness. He had great quickness and speed.
Right. And he also is like a physics major, because he can figure out things on the court when 10 parts are moving.
That's right.
And he's looking that way and making a pass over here.
I was watching an interview with you a while back when you had just come into Hollywood. You were trying to, you know, get your foot in the door. You were a waiter, as many are when they start acting. And you had this great story of how you met Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? It's a great one.
Sure. It was at Jerry Weintraub's house. The President of the United States was visiting, and a lot of movie stars were there, and I was working the party as a waiter, and I'd like to get the job I needed to get some sort of employment. And when I came down, I had about $300 in my pocket. So they said very clearly we would not, you know, we would be dismissed if we spoke to any of the movie stars or whatever. So I didn't until Jimmy Stewart walked by, and I thought, oh yeah, I'd get fired for talking to him. I went over and introduced myself. You know, would you like something to drink? He said, I'll take your scotch and soda. And I said, went over and got it for him. And then I began a long conversation, and I think he was surprised that I knew so much about him. In his military background, I applied to the United States Naval Academy 3 times. I didn't get in. It was very close. Then I had a shot at West Point. I was talking to him about it, and then he says, well, what, you know, he asking about the acting. Yeah, well, whatever you do, young man, you make good movies.
I love that.
And the thing about Jimmy Stewart in particular, the humility is amazing. Very much in that kind of Coach Wooden.
Yeah,
very
real,
much so.
real man's man.
And you're making
Good
good
to
movies.
see you.
It's a pleasure.
So nice.
Also,
to meet
person of
you.
interest coming back. You're a busy guy. When the Game Stands Tall opens Friday, August the 22nd.
Go
Thank
see
you.
it.